Okay. This is Navy Old Salt Gamer. Now, I usually do stationeers, but I see a lot of questions on Bellwright, and I've been playing it for a while. I'm by no means not an expert on it, but I think I'm fairly good at it. And the first thing I want to cover is some of the mods that I do, and it'll take a second. Now, I do have a few. I don't use this one. I could get rid of that. I don't like the meteorology bench. Crops of seeds I think is pretty important because things like potatoes, you can make potato seeds out of it instead of going and buying them. You could use potatoes. I try and keep this real to life here. By the way, if you like this, please like and subscribe. But anyway, crops to seeds will let you make, it takes anything that you can plant, and it's a separate workbench that lets you work them into seeds. So I like that one. Faster construction because I don't like taking 9 years to build something. It does not affect the way you hammer, but it does affect the way your helpers hammer and build things. Group fast travel, very important. And to me anyway. I mean, you could take your whole army and fast travel with any of your travel signs anywhere that you have one. I don't like stamina. I don't think I should run out of breath for running from one side of my town to the other. I think that's just ridiculous. Back in those days, they used to run a lot. So I turned off stamina. I love this. Doesn't really affect too much other than the fact that you can run for basically ever, which is good because I don't like wasting time traveling. Burnt food was a big thing of mine when I first started this game. Your helpers, your cooks would put something on the fire, then go to sleep, and everything would burn. They wouldn't do that in real life. So again, trying to keep this real life, I downloaded the No More Burnt Food app. The only thing that does affect is your compost pile. So you got to make a little bit more food if you want fertilizer because there's no burnt food to make into fertilizer. Works fine for me though. And all these ones that say old or outdated work fine. Enemy loot reworked, I like that because you do get some of the stuff on there's a couple of these that just go way overboard. I hunted till I found this one. It basically gives you what the person was carrying, the bandit was carrying. I like that because, you know, you didn't get anything before, maybe a band-aid or something stupid like that. And the guy had all the armor and all the swords. This gives you what the guy is carrying, so that's much better. I did use Improved Thresher. I have it turned off because it has a conflict with seed enhancement, crops of seeds. This one, in real life, when you harvest straw, you get the wheat. The wheat just doesn't disappear. But unfortunately, this would take the wheat and give you some grain, but it conflicts with crops to seed, so I don't use it anymore. Better cooking just gives you more food, enhances your cooking. I could probably do without that one, but I use it anyway. Compost pots is basically just a couple small pots that you can put down instead of the big compost pile. I could do without that one too, but I kind of like it. I don't use it as much as I did at the beginning of the game. And then enhanced farm because it's 75% faster growth because I got really tired of wheat, in some cases, taking 2 seasons to grow. Wheat does not take 2 seasons to grow. So I enhanced it by 75. I think there's a couple other ones that do different percentages. You know, that's totally up to you. Everybody uses different mods, but those are the mods I have running. And I want to continue this now. This will take a few seconds. So while I'm talking, I'm on the Bellwright Facebook page. I see a lot of questions. So I want to try and answer some of these questions that I can think of while I'm running this video. So hopefully this helps Some of the people with questions, now I do have it on a PC. My PC works really well. I have a good gaming PC. As you can see at the top, I got good frame rates, top right there. It does slow down to around 30 sometimes. That's as slow as it gets, and I have everything set to maximum. Let's see what it slows down to. 25. Of course, it's still booting. 34, 37. Come on. Come on. There we go. So I got 51 in my town. That's pretty darn good with everything set to max settings. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to talk to. This is my beginning map. I'm on tier 2. I will move this map down. You can see I'm right below Herndine. I'm going to move it down here eventually. I'm not ready to do that yet. I did liberate Herndine, so that is now liberated. It's mine. The bell tower's there. I got to add some buildings to that. I won't get into that in this video. But there we go. So that's kind of where I'm standing right now. Let's go over something that seems to be giving people a lot of problems. Like I said, I'm tier 2, so there's my, what do you call it? The town, not the townhouse, but the town building or whatever it is. Okay, so let's get into what I wanted to get into here. One of the big things, let's go to a building. This is my tool center. Stop it. Priorities. Now, I like to set my priorities up in this way. Obviously, really important. I have this one set to 1. This one should probably be set to 2, but you're going to end up playing with those over and over. So let's go to my buildings and look at priorities real quick. Barns don't matter. Bird coop, you want to keep the food in there. I got chickens in there. I got 10. I keep that at 2. That seems to work. Now, you may have to play with these a little bit. I keep my priorities high. What I usually try and do, basic items like farms, always 1. Things that you need to do construction and material building, 2. Foraging racks, you got 3 of them. You don't really need 3 of them. I put them at 3. Forester's hut, which I just recently got, I got set to 1. But it's like this. If it's like mining, I set that to 1. If it's food hunting, all my food is set to 1 except for a couple of the campfires and cooks. I'll go down to those a little bit. Important items, you want to set it to 1. Foraging, you want to keep at 1 now. Like I have been playing with these because my farms are so good. I don't need a ton of foraging anymore, so I lowered that to 2. Houses don't matter. Foraging rack. Let me see what else. Hunter's camp. Once you get that going, you definitely want that set to 1, and you want to put some archers. Make sure you have archers set up, and we'll go into that a little bit later here. Library. You don't need to do priority on library because as long as you set the priority of what you want to read for your people, they'll use it no matter what your priority is. So you can leave that relatively low. Lumberjack, 1 or 2. I mean, that's a base source item. Trees and stuff like that, logs. Base source item. 2's working for me right now. I do set that sometimes to 1 if they fall behind. This is the lumberjack spot where it turns logs into wood. 2 seems to be working really good. Again, I got my mining camps, my mixing buckets, and mud collectors 1 and 2. That's high priority. Now, I do have a lot of 1s and 2s in here, and 3s, and things that I don't worry about, I set to 5. Research desk, you always want to set to 1, in my opinion. There's my seed extractor set to 2, which seems to work really well. Simple workbench. I have, this is all crafting. I have trouble keeping some things in stock. I got that set to 1. Small caravan set to 5. That goes on its own priority. It really doesn't matter on that. Smoking rack, that's cooking, set to 1. Stockpiles, it doesn't matter. Tanner's huts, 2, that's secondary crafting, you know, so I don't want that set to the higher priority. Doesn't do you any good to set this to 1 if you don't have any things that you need to craft with. So that's the way you want to do it. You want to get the basic stuff that you need to craft with by setting priorities to 1, and then set the crafting to 2 or 3. And again, tanning racks. The thresher, that's secondary. Toolmaker set to 1 because that is making some really big important stuff. And once you get to that level, research, like I said, set to 1. Weapons rack doesn't matter; they'll use it no matter what. Weaver's hut, got some questions on that right now. Has my troops wake up, or is that somebody just cutting through? Hold on a second. Yes. Let's see.
Interested in a good deal?
Let's see if he has any. Yes, he does. I'm gonna buy his straps. Okay, that's all I wanted. I wanted to buy straps. It's hard to keep up with the straps sometimes. Okay, so where I was down here, the tool hut, somewhere in that area. Toolmaster, travel signs. I got a bunch of travel signs, basically to all the cities right now. Weapons rack, I covered that. Weaver hut, that's the thing I'm still playing with. I got it set to 1, but I don't seem to use it very often. And I'd have to check into this. I don't know exactly why. Weaver table, I could set that to 1, but 2's good. Yeah, we'll set that to 2. We'll leave it there. And then the well. Now, it also doesn't do any good, and this is all my priorities set up for people. One thing a lot of people seem to forget. Let me find it up there. By the way, somebody was asking what this is. Smelting. If you go to settlement, population, it'll tell you what they are. Crafting, smelting. It goes down the list here. I want to look for delivery. Delivery. What is delivery? Is that it? Yes. If you don't have anybody delivering goods from your stores to the crafting tables, nothing is going to get done. So make sure you have delivery set to 1 on a couple people, because otherwise nothing's going to get done. That's more important. I think a lot of people seem to forget that. So that's covered. Crafting, where is it? Why am I having such trouble? There it is. I got quite a few people set to 1 for crafting. Now you see for this here, crafting and smelting, that's a similar thing. If anybody has a crafting in my games, if they're crafting, they're also smelting. Smelting is something that seems to fall behind in this game. So all my crafters are set to smelt also. And even my secondary crafters are sent to secondary smelting. Do this, spend some time with it and experiment, because this is really, really important. If something is lacking or not getting done, go in here, change the priority make sure you got everything you need. Harvesting, I don't do a ton of harvesting right now. I have a bunch of sets to 2, because like I said, I have good farms and good farmers. And here's my farming. I've got 1, 2 people set to farming. This is my farming hire out of Horndean. So he's really good at farming. So he takes care of everything. So farming's done. There's another one that people seem to forget. Wood cutting. Once you get your lumber mill, there's also a log gathering hut or lumber's hut or something like that. If you don't set somebody to woodworking, they're not going to you're not going to get any wood. You got to set somebody, hey, you got to go chop some wood. Very important. Delivery already covered. Cooking is pretty kind of obvious. You get good cooks, you set them to cooking. I've really only got 1 cook who's just awesome. She just runs all my cooking, as you can see. She hardly does anything else but cooking. And if I inspect her, she is attributes, a level 6 cook. So she takes care of pretty much everything. So that's my cooking. Hunting, very important. If you set up your hunting camps and you don't put somebody to hunting with a bow, you're not going to get anything. I got 4 people hunting. I could probably take one of those away, to be honest with you. But I think they're duplicates. He's only hunting. He's only hunting. Yeah, see, this one's crafting also. So you can do this. You don't have to set it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you want them to look at hunting first, or crafting, whatever is necessary, you could set this to 2. So if there's no crafting that needs to be done, which is, in my case, never. There's always crafting be done. And then, you know, we'll play with these, because once you get a hand of it, it's different. Construction, another important one. I don't have anybody set to 1 right now. I got a couple 2s, and it seems to be taken care of. But if you don't assign somebody priority for construction, nothing's going to get built. This is really important to know you cover all these. Animal handling, that is trapping. And I don't have any traps set anymore. So I could probably ignore this because I get enough with hunting. Researching, you always want to put a couple people in researching. I got 2 research areas, so I have 2 ones. Cart, you don't have to worry about cart, because if you already assigned somebody to work the carts, as soon as something is ready to be carted, they do it. I mean, you don't need to set this, it doesn't seem to me. And I don't have caravan guards right now. So that's pretty much priorities. It's a two-way street that you have to work in combination. You got to do this, set the people up, and you also have to set the buildings up. Very important. You got to do both. And sometimes it's a balancing act. Rate expected tomorrow, so I'm okay. Farming. Let's take a quick look at my farms. I got everything being farmed. You got to play with the minimum numbers. I have that set for 100. I got currently 200, so they won't be planting that for a while. I could do onions. Let's change those to 2. I don't know if I got any seeds or not, but potatoes, I got sage. It's a little low, but it seems, I don't think I've run out of sage yet, so I think I'm okay there. You don't use a ton of sage. Watch these numbers. You'd like to want to put them all at 100, and the next thing you know, your storage is overwhelmed. Right now I got 2 barns and 1 stockyard that I haven't yet deleted. So you don't want to overwhelm your farms. The tendency for me was to turn these all to 100. You don't want to do that. You know, play with it, see which ones you need the most of, and then tone it down from there. I haven't gotten any of those yet. This mod that I have allows you to grow river weeds. That might be a bit of a cheat in my book, but I don't like that you have to run to riversides to get that. That's just my opinion. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. As you can see, I probably have some planted here. Is that a river weed? Yeah, I do. So I have them planted. They're very important for bows and stuff, so you can't really run out of those. Mushrooms, I don't have them. I get enough of those. Turnips. Why do I only have 20 turnips? Let's make that 50. Because that is important for advanced food. Not advanced food, yeah, for chickens and livestock, which I'm getting ready to start here pretty soon. Apples, I don't have any apple seeds. I don't have any apples, so I may have to go get some apple seeds there. Cotton, I got enough of that planted. I don't have any lemons, berries, I turned them off. Radishes, that's good. I don't have any olives yet. So there's my farming. Again, I got my farm set to 100. And another thing, let me bring this up while I'm looking at it. Tools. What's a good one for tools? Let's go over to my These raise your, if you make these things, they raise your fame, I guess is what you would call it. Looks like I'm starting to plant some trees. I pretty much, yeah, it looks like I am. I pretty much farmed this whole area out. I got my forester working now. But tools. If you start like a lumberjack hut or a mining or anything that requires tools, if it doesn't have tools, nothing's going to happen. So set your tools up and make sure, I always drop them off. You can rely on delivery people to deliver them if you have a good delivery setup. If you don't, your lumber mill will just sit there and nothing will get done because it doesn't have any tools. So, that's another good point. Now, butchery, what am I looking for here? Here it is. This is my seed extractor. This is what you get with that mod, and I really enjoy it. I mean, it's up to you if you want to use it or not. But see, you take regular plants, and it'll turn them into seeds. The target amount reached. Right here, I'm short of sage seeds, so they should come over here. It looks like they're making hemp seeds now.
Lovely weather.
Sorry. I don't usually use an outhouse. I put an outhouse in here because I like to throw some of my useless clothes in it. Now, be careful what you throw in the outhouse because it disappears. And a lot of the stuff, once you get caravan, you can sell. And I got stuff, I'm buying stuff from Horndean and selling stuff to Adstow. And it sounds like it's going out right now. I kind of heard it with the squeaky wheel. Maybe it just came back. But anyway, there's been a lot of questions. I think the trickiest part of this game is setting priorities. Because not only, like I said, do you have to set the building priority, but you have to set the people to work the building. And then you also have to... Oops, sorry, kitty. You get that with a quest. I also had a dog. What happened to my dog? I had a dog, but he disappeared. I guess he died of old age. That's kind of sad. I don't see my dog anywhere. One thing you want to be really, once you start doing animals, you can kill your animals pretty quick by starving them. I have this set to 30. I got advanced feed and regular feed in here. So this has got to be set, both the priority of your, in this case, bird coop, has to be set to where if somebody works it, at this point they're doing a real good job at 2. And your mixing bucket site, I always set that to 1. And you can see all my target things are met. Because if you don't have bird food or advanced food or, what's the other one? Rough animal feed, to deliver to these things, everything in it's going to die probably within a day or 2, maybe 2 days. So, he will alert. Is he going to go plant a tree? I'm going to go watch this person because I have yet to see him plant a tree. I just started the foraging hut. I mean, you can plant anywhere in here. You don't have to go somewhere specific there, person. It does look like she's planting it. And anyway, this might be a waste of time. Colleen Shears. Remember who she is. Colleen Shears. She is a hunter. Why the heck is... Oh, she's a second place farmer. So there must be enough hunters and stuff right now. Like I said, you can put that down anywhere. You don't have to go any further for it. The logistics of this, I mean, it doesn't need to go to the furthest point. They should have it smart enough to say, okay, there's no tree. Oh, she just planted it. There we go. Sapling is growing. That one's going to be a young tree. Is this a sapling on another young tree? Yeah, I guess, I don't know how they grow yet, but it looks like they are. Yeah, I got some saplings planted. Excellent. Okay, so they are planting trees now.
Blazing sun today.
Blazing sun. They say that in the middle of wintertime sometimes. Wow.
Did you see that sunset last night? It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Is this my cart or their cart? What's in it? Nothing. Oh, nothing's in it. But he's getting ready to make another trip. That's my cart guy. So he'll walk around to the three things, load them up. Watch your funds, because if you buy too much and sell too much, your funds disappear. And additionally, if you keep selling stuff to like Hornbeam, their prosperity go down. You got to make sure that you buy stuff from them too, or they run out of money. And that affects things also. I hope that answers some of your questions. Couple things. Hunters, send them with bows. Also mix. Oh, I know what I can cover. This is really important. This will be the last thing I cover in this video, but it's really important. Once you get the staging ground, go into the staging ground. Now I have my people set up as two-handed fighters, archers, one-handed fighters. I got 3 different ones right now. And I assigned everybody a specific, you can do that, oops. Let's just do it, check this guy. That's here. So you look at their stats. I see this guy's a good two-handed person. He's also good one-handed. But I picked him to be two-handed. And let's go back. Here.
Glad it's my home.
So if you look at him, I got him set two-handed. Now you can go in, add and edit these by click on the knife. So if I wanted to change two-handed, which I do regularly because you have to. If you go in here, okay, so there's my two-handed weapons. You pull the pull-down menu. Two-handed, pull the pull-down menu. Notice, if there's a long sword available, you use that. If there's no long sword, look for a woodcutter's axe. If there's a woodcutter's axe, use that. And if not, use a pitchfork. I know I have all 3 of those. So you want to set priority 1, because he's two-handed. And then you want to set the order that you want to use them. Make sure you pull down the pull-down menu. And this will change when you advance tech trees. So you also have to check this routinely. You can't ignore this, or else your good fighters will be going out with a pitchfork and getting killed. Make sure you check that. Secondary weapon. I only send them out with tools, usually axes. That's just my preference. You can do however you want to do that. And again, same thing with head slots. You start with heavy. Heavy's at 1. And then you set it, that's my best heavy. That's a 12 or 15 armor, 12 armor, 9 armor. Do it in that order. If they don't have any, or they can't use heavy, then I go to medium and I do the same thing. Brigand's hood, 10. Leathercloth, 9, and I just go down the list. 3. These are the things that I throw out. They're 2. Those go in the, maybe not at the start of the game, but they go into the outhouse and get flushed, because all they do is take up space. And I don't think you probably could sell these for a couple in some instances, but let's just go over archers real quick. Now, one-handed is set up exactly the same, except for you pick different weapons. Percy got killed because he's an archer. He was outmatched by a boar, probably. And he is only 3, so he's my weakest guy. So it doesn't surprise me that he got killed. They'll come back. Thank goodness. Anyway, archers. Archers are a little different. So when you go to archers, you got to make sure you set the bow priority. You also have to go down to quiver slot and make sure you give them a quiver. If you don't, they shoot a lot slower. So all this is pretty easy once you play with it after a while. They don't have backpacks yet. I give everybody a bag. That's also very important. When you get this, give everybody a bag so they can carry more. And then I did set up my foods, and I set them up in order. I don't want anybody eating raw food. I do stews, soups, roasted meat, dried, preserved food, and there's dried. These don't give them much stats, so make sure you set them up. Like I said, I hope that... Did somebody else die? Somebody else just died. Another archer. Okay, guys. Stop taking on 5 boars at the same time. Alright, so, I think that's all I wanted to cover. If there's something that you guys want to watch, or want me to cover, let me know. I'll be happy to help. But again, this is PC. If you're working on a PS5, things might be a little bit different. I don't have a PS5. I love my PC. I love gaming on my PC. I thought I emptied all these traps. I thought I'd emptied all these traps. Okay. Maybe somebody's still manning them up, apparently. I don't have a trapping camp. I'll put this down here and let somebody else cut it. I'll just drop this on my butcher bench and somebody will come over and take care of it for me. There we go. Library. Maybe I should cover that. I lied. This will be the last thing I cover. Library. You put your books in here, right? They come and read them automatically by this. Now this gets confusing as all get out too, so this is my two-handed guy, so if there's any two-handed books, I want him to read them first, and if not, then he can do agility because that helps. Now his strength is already 8. What did I just get? Crossbow. Nice. But that's how you set that up. Make sure you do this. You can drop your books in here. Make sure you tell people what books you want them to read by, again, doing priorities. And if you don't leave any of these on. If you got somebody that's not doing research, don't have them research a research book. You'll just be wasting books. How's this crossbow look? Where do I build crossbow? Probably here. Manage toolmaker, crossbow, crossbow, crossbow. There he is. Crossbow. Okay, you need strength 3. What's the damage I'm under? I'll give this to my... Let's make 2 of them. Top up, in case you don't know that. Let's make 3 of them. Not enough resources, and it's because I want that to go up a little higher in the priority list. Crossbow. Where's my bows? I don't have any bows here. I got them in the other one. Let's go up to strap. Crossbow. Crossbow. Up arrow. Okay, now I got the straps first. Oh, you also need carpenter hammers for your building, or else your builders won't build. So, that's another thing. I guess I'll end that video here. Again, this is Navy Old Salt Gamer. Let me know what you think of my town. It's not real organized because it's my starter town.
Shade'd be nice right about now.
Shade would be nice. Some of the things I found tricky, smelting. It's really hard to get people to keep up with smelting. I don't know why. I think I have my one, I did set up 3. This one I think I have set up for only bronze, and I got that to 1. And this one is set up for tin. I got that at 2. Now why did I set these to 2? Because if you set these to 1, you'll never get a bronze, because it'll keep making tin and it gets, or copper, mainly copper. It'll keep making copper ingots, and you'll never get a copper ingot or a copper ore for your bronze. So the way I figured to kick that is to set bronze to a higher priority than copper and tin, and it seems to work pretty well. Go plant a tree.
So
I'm glad
far,
to see
we're doing
that.
Great work, don't you think?
As you can see, it works. I have 9 copper and 10 tin ingots, so that system worked pretty well. Alright, again, if you want me to cover anything else, let me know, and I'll let you go at this point. Remember, subscribe and like, and I'll see you later.